Hello there. Have you ever thought about turning chickpeas into cookies? Well, today we're going to do that. Welcome to another episode of Weird Food Wednesday. I'm your host, Marilyn Zink. I'm the publisher of the Herbal Collective, a certified nutrition coach, and a chartered herbalist. So, why use chickpeas? Why not flour? Well, chickpeas are high in protein and they're a versatile bean, so they can be turned into something like cookies. So it's much more satisfying than, calories from flour. So what I did is I went ahead and I blended up a can of chickpeas. So it's about 540 milliliters can of chickpeas. And we're going to add a few other good ingredients. We're supposed to make cookies. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you get it blended up fairly well. Not an old food processor. You want to do this in a food processor. And so you want to get blended nicely, but not, puree too much. You don't want to turn it into a puree. So then we add some peanut butter. We have about a half a cup of peanut butter. And I put this in a bowl. So I'm kind of blending it the old-fashioned way, just using my arm. Adding some peanut butter to that. And then we're going to add oat flour, a bit of oat flour. We've got about maybe like half a cup of that. Blend that all together. Stir it good. And this is before we add any rising ingredients like baking powder, because you don't want to over stir with something like baking powder. So I'm just trying to make sure this blends nicely before I add the sweetener. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to add some maple syrup. So I think want about a quarter cup of that. So I'm going to put that in. That's going to give it a nice flavor. And along with the maple syrup, I can smell it. It smells so good. Going to add a little bit of ginger and some cinnamon, just to give it some nice flavor. You don't have to add the ginger if you don't like ginger, but I always do. And I'm going to stir that up really good. And then I'm going to add, just make sure it's got a nice sticky dough-like consistency. You can see it's making a nice dough consistency. I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so of baking powder. That'll make it rise nice. And also maybe a little bit of walnuts. Walnut pieces or walnuts chopped up finely. Give it a little bit of nice crunch. Cinnamon. I love the flavor of cinnamon. The cinnamon maple syrup just go really well together. So we want it sweet, but not overly sweet. A little bit of walnuts. And what we're also going to do is once it's all stirred up nicely, we're going to fold in some chocolate chips. Now, in my case, I'm using carob chips. So this is more of a vegan recipe because we're not using any animal products in it or any eggs. So that's what your batter should look like. And smells good too. So stir that up and not over stir it. So I'm going to add the carob chips. Quite a bit of them. We want them to have some nice flavor. So this would be like a kind of like a chocolate chip variety. Now what you could do if you wanted to is add cocoa powder and blend that in to the cookie dough as well. Just a bit of variety. Okay. So I'm showing you. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Does that look like it could be good cookies? I think so. Okay. So I am going to pause this video. That don't taste good, actually. Come back and we'll see how the cookies turned out. All right, we're back and the cookies are done. So see how they look. Now you have to flatten them out a bit because they don't do that in the oven. So you should maybe flatten them out with a fork or just press them down with the back of a spoon. See how that works. So I'm going to try one of them. See what you think. That's good. Very tasty. I would add a bit more, cinnamon, a bit more ginger, a bit more spice, maybe a little bit of clove. Yeah, but good cookies. Great to take along as a good protein snack. Will satisfy you. Good for hiking, any of that kind of thing. So you can freeze them. I would highly recommend maybe doing something like that if they last that long. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to find out more, click the links below or make sure you subscribe for more videos. Thanks again.